Three things in human life are important. The first is to be kind, the second is to be kind, and the third is to be kind. Summer afternoon, summer afternoon. To me, those have always been the two most beautiful words in the English language. I'm glad you like adverbs. I adore them. They are the only qualifications I really much respect. I don't want everyone to like me. I should think less of myself if some people did. We work in the dark. We do what we can. We give what we have. Our doubt is our passion, and our passion is our task. The rest is the madness of art. There are few hours in life more agreeable than the hour dedicated to the ceremony known as afternoon tea. Her reputation for reading a great deal hung about her like the cloudy envelope of a goddess in an epic. I'm yours forever, forever and ever. Here I stand, I'm as firm as a rock. If you'll only trust me, how little you'll be disappointed. Be mine as I am yours. I call people rich when they're able to meet the requirements of their imagination. She had an immense curiosity about life and was constantly staring and wondering. And remember this, that if you've been hated, you've also been loved. Obstacles are those frightening things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. I intend to judge things for myself. To judge wrongly, I think, is more honorable than not to judge at all. The right time is any time that one is still so lucky as to have. Things are always different than what they might be. If you wait for them to change, you will never do anything. Be not afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will create the fact. Don't underestimate the value of irony. It is extremely valuable. Don't mind anything anyone tells you about anyone else. Judge everyone and everything for yourself. One can't judge till one's 40. Before that we're too eager, too hard, too cruel, and in addition much too ignorant. You must save what you can of your life. You mustn't lose it all simply because you've lost a part. Her imagination was by habit ridiculously active. When the door was not open, it jumped out the window. You wanted to look at life for yourself, but you were not allowed. You were punished for your wish. You were ground in the very mill of the conventional. No, no, there are depths, depths. The more I go over it, the more I see in it, and the more I see in it, the more I fear. I don't know what I don't see, what I don't fear. It is art that makes life, makes interest, makes importance, and I know of no substitute for the force and beauty of its process. She had a certain way of looking at life which he took as a personal offense. Feel, I say, feel for all you're worth, and even if it half kills you, for that is the only way to live. The women one meets, what are they but books one has already read? You're a library of the unknown, the uncut. Upon my word, I've a subscription. I have never allowed a gentleman to dictate to me, or to interfere with anything I do. Money's a horrid thing to follow, but a charming thing to meet. A swift carriage of a dark night, rattling with 4 horses over roads that one can't see. That's my idea of happiness. There are 2 kinds of taste in the appreciation of imaginative literature: the taste for emotions of surprise and the taste for emotions of recognition. She took refuge on the firm ground of fiction, through which indeed there curled the blue river of truth. Of course I was under the spell, and the wonderful part is that, even at the time, I perfectly knew I was. She had an unequaled gift, usually pen in hand, of squeezing big mistakes into opportunities. If you have work to do, don't wait to feel like it. Set to work and you will feel like it. The only obligation to which in advance we may hold a novel, without incurring the accusation of being arbitrary, is that it be interesting. There was nothing in the room the next minute but the sunshine and a sense that I must stay. I would give all I possess to get out of myself, but somehow, at the end, I find myself so vastly more interesting than 9/10 of the people I meet. Living as he now lived was like reading a good book in a poor translation. He valued life and literature equally for the light they threw upon each other. To his mind one implied the other. He was unable to conceive of them apart. She had always been fond of history, and here, in Rome, was history in the stones of the street and the atoms of the sunshine. She often wondered indeed if she ever had been, or ever could be, intimate with anyone. Everything had something behind it. Life was like a long corridor with rows of closed doors. Live as you like best, and your character will take care of itself. Most things are good for you. The exceptions are very rare. It is no wonder he wins every game. He has never done a thing in his life except play games. I have in my own fashion learned the lesson that life is effort, unremittingly repeated. Under certain circumstances there are few hours more agreeable than the hour dedicated to the ceremony known as afternoon tea. I don't need the aid of a clever man to teach me how to live. I can find it out for myself. It was the truth, vivid and monstrous, that all the while he had waited the wait was itself his portion. It wouldn't have been failure to be bankrupt, dishonored, pilloried, hanged. It was failure not to be anything. She was a woman who, between courses, could be graceful with her elbows on the table. She is like a revolving lighthouse, pitch darkness alternating with a dazzling brilliancy. Still, who could say what men ever were looking for? They looked for what they found. They knew what pleased them only when they saw it. We trust to novels to train us in the practice of great indignations and great generosity. The real offense, as she ultimately perceived, was her having a mind of her own at all. You young men have too many jokes. When there are no jokes, you've nothing left. She gazed and wondered, like a child or peasant, and paid her silent tribute to visible grandeur. When it's for each other that people give things up, they don't miss them. We were alone with the quiet day, and his little heart, dispossessed, had stopped. Ideas are, in truth, forces. Infinite, too, is the power of personality. A union of the two always makes history. Anger does not last that way for years. But there are other things. Impressions last when they have been